Cold and evil girl face, sweet and sweet Jiang Luo x pure love milk dog face, black belly male Ziyan. Surprisingly, love comprehensive CP is actually my target for the second game strategy. Jiang Luo found that the second installment of End of Love was a bit special. In other second-tier games, completing tasks can boost your favorability, and spending money can also boost your favorability. But this game is not. Say a unfashionable love word to Yan Zihe, and the likeability is 0.5. Purchase a Hawaiian vacation set for Yan Zihe, with a positive rating of 0.10. Okay, calm down first. Go online again in 3 hours, my favorability dropped directly to 0.999. Jiang Luo. Ziyan went on a trip. More precisely, it is his consciousness that is connected to a game character. Trapped in that apocalyptic world, the only pleasure is interacting with players outside the screen. Although players say strange things to him every day, although players seem to enjoy watching him wear a Hawaiian shirt to fight zombies, but players who can act coquettishly and beg for forgiveness. Really? Quite cute. I don't know when the player became restless when he wasn't online. The player said good night to him, and his heart pounded. Players can't help but feel jealous when interacting with other characters. Oh no, he seems to have fallen in love with the player. Hello, I'm Jiang Luo. When the cold female voice rang out, Ziyan's brain felt like an electric shock. He didn't expect to encounter his lover, whom he had never met before after being forcibly pushed onto a dating variety show. For a moment, he bent his lips and walked closer with an indescribable determination. Hello. Hello player, the strategy is about to begin. Novel keyword. Help. Love complex has been conquered by paper man without a pop-up window. Help. The love show has been taken over by the paperman. Download the complete TXT collection. Help. The latest chapter of the love story has been covered by the paperman. Who are you in chapter 1? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who are you in chapter 1? Boom. CDM experimental building, the second room on the 8th floor. The girl wearing a white coat was cleaning the reagent bottle when the building collapsed unexpectedly. The glass bottles were shattered into pieces and scattered all over the table. The girl fell to the ground and hit her head on the edge of the pool. Hiss. The pain spread instantly. Help me. Run quickly. The meteorite has fallen. Through the tightly closed steel door of the laboratory, the noise was dull and heavy. Looking up, there were shadows on the window. The outside has fallen into chaos. The girl struggled to stand up with her forehead covered. Is the experimental building about to collapse? We need to leave here quickly, brush. Suddenly, the door was opened. Along with it comes a dazzling white light. The entire field of vision was engulfed by the vast expanse of white. Between them, a slender figure could be faintly seen. The field of vision gradually becomes clearer. An extremely delicate face, milk-like skin, obsidian-like eyes, and beautiful crescent-shaped lips. Like the sky after rain, clean and clear. The person's forehead was slightly disheveled, with occasional drops of sweat and flushed cheeks. Running too quickly. He was wearing a white coat similar to that of a girl, but with a lion-shaped badge embroidered on his chest, which is unique to top researchers. It's Yan Zihe. A genius biologist admired by mortals, only 25 years old, has reached the pinnacle of the CDM, changed the destiny of mankind, organization. Ding dong. Shake for a while, a dialog box pops up on the phone screen, facing Yan Zihe who came to rescue. At this moment, you will. A. Surprised and asked, how did you come? B. She threw herself in his arms and cried, I'm so scared, whimpering. C. Without saying anything, pull up Yan Zihe and run wildly. The building is about to collapse, should we run quickly? Choose C. But would Yan Zihe happen to like the crying little delicate flower? It was a warm winter afternoon. On the bright balcony, Jiang Luo nestled in a rattan chair, holding his phone and concentrating. On the phone screen, it is the interface of Doomsday Love. Doomsday Love is a love-adventure game. The story is set in 2048 AD when a small star collides with Earth. The protagonist group is a member of the CDM organization dedicated to changing the fate of humanity. Players can establish bonds with one or more protagonists. Yan Zihe is precisely the target of Jiang Luo's strategy. Let's choose C instead. Jiang Luo decided to follow her true intention. After a pause, the slender fingers of Onion White firmly placed on option C. Favorability +20. It seems that you guessed Yan Zihe's preferences correctly. Jiang Luo breathed a sigh of relief. Immediately after, another pop-up box popped up on the screen. Congratulations to Miss Luo, your favorability has reached 100. Unlock text interaction. Next, Miss Luo can freely interact with characters through text. Special notice. Once your favorability reaches 1000, you can unlock voice interaction. Miss Luo, please cheer for your love-free interaction. How much freedom can one have? As the screen changes, we arrive at Yan Zihe's cabin. It is a simple one-bedroom apartment with a modern minimalist style in a black, white, and gray color combination. Jiang Luo occasionally swipes the screen to check the furnishings in the room. Like her, Yan Zihe, who had just entered the small house, was also walking around casually, including the kitchen, dining table, desk, bed, bathroom. He would even stop at the table and pick up his work permit to check. Like a real person visiting. A dialog box appears at the bottom of the screen, accompanied by flashing arrows for illustration. So, is it possible to input text freely now? So intelligent. No longer have to reluctantly choose among those strange options. Soon, the surprise was replaced by hesitation. What should I say when talking to Yan Zihe for the first time? Hello. Would it be too ordinary for a genius like Yan Zihe? Delete, modify, and modify the text in the dialog box. Jiang Luo was eager to try while hesitating. Strict everything in front of me is filled with a sense of unfamiliarity. Yan Zihe cautiously patrolled the surroundings. The room has everything necessary for daily life, but only the door to leave is missing. Where is this? Who is he? Yan Zihe can't remember anything about the past. The brain seems to have been cleared. The existing memory only existed a few minutes ago. He was conducting an experiment when the experimental building suddenly shook. After escaping from the laboratory, his body ran uncontrollably towards the 8th floor. Then, he saw a girl. Then, in the blink of an eye, he arrived here. First, search for some useful information. He lowered his head to look at the work permit in his hand. Yan Zihe, 25 years old, is a top researcher at CDM. Is this him? Eyes fixed on the photo of the work permit. In terms of appearance, it's him. But he inexplicably developed a sense of disagreement, as if it wasn't him, and he didn't seem to belong here. Thorny. A sound of electric current flashed by. On the smooth wall, where the door should have been, a square screen appeared. The cursor flashes, and the horizontal bar at the top of the screen displays. The other party is typing. Someone wants to establish a connection with him. He approached and touched the screen with his fingers, revealing a keyboard. The other party is constantly typing and the message has not been sent. Looking up, he calmly typed a few words. Who are you? Click to send. Jiang, who am I? Do you want to give a nickname? Baby. Dear. It's too numb. Looking at Yan Zihe, who had no expression above the dialog box, Jiang Luo quickly typed his name and sent it over. Falling down. Favorability +1. It seems that this is indeed a guide for nicknames. Not bad, even the guidance feels quite immersive. However, Yan Zihe did not receive any further response next. Jiang Luo frowned. According to normal game design, shouldn't voiceovers appear at this moment? For example, "Dear Miss Luo, I will spend a wonderful time with you in the future." There is nothing. A dead silence fell. The bangs cast a shadow on Yan Zihe's face, making his expression seem like a veil, unreal. As if thinking about something. Squinting her eyes slightly, Jiang Luo couldn't help but exclaim, "Games are becoming more and more realistic now. Since it's free interaction, she needs to take the initiative. Dear Yan Zihe, I will spend a wonderful time with you." The sentence was not fully entered yet, and Yan Zihe asked again, "Where is this? Where is this? Is it to test her understanding of the game background?" Jiang Luo deleted the entered text and confidently replied, "Earth. Favorite point 2 Why? Did you answer incorrectly?" Silence, longer. Yan Zihe's head is also lower. In the field of vision, only the soft black hair remained. It must feel very soft to the touch. I really want to touch it myself. With a pursed smile, she continued typing, "Next, I will spend time with you." Specific location. Jiang Luo is crazy. This is a love game. Is the assessment of game background so important? Looking at the small head that should feel soft to the touch, Jiang Luo couldn't help but curl his eyebrows and eyes, and his lips curved upwards. Okay, surrender and surrender. My boyfriend is so cute, how can we blame him? With a sigh, she comforted herself. There's no way, this is the only way to guide boyfriends. Entering the living room, Jiang Luo turned on the laptop on the coffee table and began searching for the background of the story. The new book is here. I'm looking for collection, comments, and tickets. I'm throwing around and asking for it. There will be occasional updates and drops from small theaters. Love you all, Bobo. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Darkness Comes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Darkness Comes. The background of the game, Doomsday Love, is as follows. In 2048, an asteroid collides with Earth, posing an unprecedented threat to humanity's fate. In GT City, a group. Focus on GT City. She had to delete the entered text again and replied, GT City. Favorite point 1, this is clearly GT City. Jiang Luo flipped back and forth through 4 or 5 web pages, and confirmed that the affirmative answer was GT City. Why deduct my favorability? A carp jumped up and down in the living room, grabbing her phone and pacing back and forth, carefully analyzing the math problems in the college entrance examination. Why does favorability decrease? From the perspective of game designers, they must hope to provide players with more loving interactions. So, shouldn't we be so rigid in our replies, but should they be more vivid and vivid? After careful consideration, Jiang Luo input, the cottage that Luo and Yan Zihe love. No response. Stuck. Jiang Luo curiously poked the screen. Likelihood rating 0.66. Furious and roaring. Strict Yan Zihe's gaze fixed on the text on the screen, his face solemn. The cottage loved by Luo and Yan Zihe. Yan Zihe is him, Luo. Is the person behind the light screen, are they lovers? Thoughts flashed by. Yan Zihe frowned. He needs to organize his thoughts. Firstly, it can be clarified that the world is divided into two. One is the experimental building. The second is this room. The connection between two spaces may be related to his lover. So, why did he suddenly come here from the laboratory? Did it trigger some kind of mechanism, or did it fall on controlling everything? What role does Luo play in this world? Following what came to mind, Yan Zihe asked, "Are you a girl from the 802 laboratory?" Jiang, the girl in the 802 laboratory, who is the protagonist of the apocalyptic plot? Is Yan Zihe asking such a question to enhance the player's sense of immersion? So, if you want to gain favor, you should also act as a character to reply, right? Taking a brief break from his irritability, Jiang Luo carefully inputted word by word, yes. Thank you for coming to save me. Yan Zihe, the end has come. Let's go save the world together. Hold your breath and wait. Please, your favorability is up. 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 3 seconds later, a row of cold white characters emerged, favorability rate 0.39 junk game. Jiang Luo erupted. After starting the free interaction, she answered a total of 5 questions. Except for the first question with a positive rating of +1, all the rest were negative. Answer, Earth, favorability 0.1. Answer, GT City, favorability rating 0.3. Answer. The cottage loved by Luo and Yan Zihe, with a positive rating of 0.66. Even inviting Yan Zihe to save the world with a character's tone, the favorability rating is 0.39. Is the difficulty level of this strategy real? Does this game have a good internal test of favorability? Pure fraud. She's going to retreat. Fingers pressed on the exit button, but the gaze unconsciously shifted towards the character in the center of the screen. Above the dialogue box, Yan Zihe stood tall, looking straight ahead. For a moment, Jiang Luo seemed to sense the intersection of their gaze. There was a hint of confusion in his eyes, his lips pursed slightly, as if confused or contemplating. His eyes were like 2 pure mountain springs, forever clear and clear. The reason why Jiang Luo downloaded End of Love was entirely for Yan Zihe. When she first saw Yan Zihe's portrait, she was deeply attracted. Like a vortex, drawing her into a secluded paradise. It is a heart-pounding love at first sight, and also a warm harbor to dispel worries. The End of Love has multiple main characters, and Jiang Luo only likes Yan Zihe. The clean and firm qualities on his body were like a fuse, igniting it and then setting off a fireworks display in Jiang Luo's heart. She wanted to explore his story and longed to accompany him on this adventure to save the world. This kind of surging impulse, Jiang Luo has not experienced it in the 3rd dimension for too long. So, are you really going to give up? With a flick of her finger, Jiang Luo cancelled and exited, holding her phone and standing still. She stared at the screen, her eyes lit up like flames. The strategy is more interesting because it is difficult, isn't it? The higher the difficulty, the stronger the sense of achievement obtained after a successful strategy. Moreover, there is still voice interaction waiting for her ahead. That's Yan Zihe who can say goodnight with his own mouth. The sunlight plated Jiang Luo with a layer of light gold, like a suit of armor, which made her more resilient and courageous. Her fighting spirit is burning fiercely. I used to just play casually, but now I need to put in more effort. Strict Luo said, yes. Thank you for coming to save me. Yan Zihe, the end of the world is coming. Let's go save the world together. Yan Zihe stared at that line of words for several seconds before his brain continued to think. After confirming Luo's identity, he needs to figure out how much control Luo has over this world. In a moment, he deliberately asked, can we go back to the laboratory building now? Jiang returning to the experimental building. Does it mean scrolling through the plot? Is this an invisible prompt from the system? Jiang Luo glanced at the experience bar, 132. Every 500 experience points can unlock 1 chapter of the plot. At present, there is still a significant gap from 500. Quickly walking back to the sofa, Jiang Luo sat cross-legged on the carpet, searching frantically on his laptop. How to quickly refresh experiences in Doomsday Love? Click on the first web page. Ladies and gentlemen, Yan, Madam Song, and Mr. Jean, here are 18 quick brushing methods that I have summarized. 1. Krypton Gold. According to the rules of love at the end, ladies can earn corresponding experience points based on how much money they spend. That is to say, ladies can earn 500 experience points by buying goods worth 500 renminbi. This article is only suitable for big shots, too. Complete daily tasks. After reaching 300 experience points, by clicking on the taskbar, you can see that there are some tasks waiting to be completed. For each task completed, you can earn 20 experience points, such as giving a true confession to the target of the strategy, chat with the target audience for more than 10 sentences a day. I won't list them all here. 3. Received a medal. Ladies, you can open the medal hall and unlock each achievement to earn a medal, which will earn you 100 experience points. Krypton Gold, according to Love at the End. A faint sound of reading rang out. Jiang Luo took out a rubber band from under the coffee table, neatly curled up her hair, locked her gaze tightly on the screen, with a focused expression and a determined expression, exuding a style of preparing for exams. Strategy Yan Zihe, she is serious. Strict silently. There was no response on the screen, only the vertical cursor flickering rhythmically. It seems that Luo does not want him to pry into the changing rules of this world. In the future, when talking to her, you need to be more cautious and not let her notice any abnormalities. Yan Zihe silently wrote it down. Lift your hand and land it on the keyboard. He decided to talk to Luo about something else first to lower her guard. Luo, are you still there? Just about to click send. Pop. The world falls into darkness. It makes no sense. Ha. Yan Zihe. After you left, my world fell into darkness. Physically speaking, end of this chapter. Chapter 3. Pet Lovers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Pet Lovers. Ding dong ding dong ding dong, there's a call coming. Jiang Luo glanced sideways to take a look. It's the agent's brother. Hello, brother Xiaolin. As soon as the phone was connected, Jiang Luo unconsciously sat up upright. This is the professional competence of a 72-line actor when facing a manager. Fallen, do you have time? Xiaolin's tone remained as gentle as ever. Even if it wasn't face-to-face, Jiang Luo still nodded forcefully and said, if you have time. I just made an appointment with producer Lily and would like to take you to have dinner with her tonight, okay? Jiang Luo is currently at a low point in her career, and she is too happy to have the opportunity to take on a job. Of course, she will not refuse. Okay. Thank you, brother Xiaolin. I happen to be working near your house, and I'll pick you up an hour later. Please tidy up. Hanging up the phone, Jiang Luo reluctantly glanced at the laptop and finally closed it. Boyfriend, I will continue to explore you when I come back tonight. Strict in front of the wall, Yan Zihe stood motionless. The ink-like darkness enveloped him, surging as if to engulf everything. Compared to panic, at present, he is more confused. Did you switch to another space again? He tried to explore and found that there was still a wall in front of him. Then, he took a few steps towards his right side and touched the familiar table and chair. Still in this room. Opening the chair, he sat down and habitually placed his hands on the table with folded hands. It's not a space switch, is that a power outage? He can be certain that when checking the room, no electrical box was found. And obviously, this is not an ordinary place, perhaps there is no power outage at all. It's not a space switch, nor is it a power outage. Excluding two incorrect options, he had a flash of inspiration and thought of a third possibility. The light screen on the wall goes out synchronously, which means he cannot contact the falling person. Perhaps, from a more macro perspective, falling is indeed subject to some mechanism, but looking only at the relationship between it and falling, it is falling that occupies absolute initiative. Once the fall leaves, the light of the world will extinguish until the fall falls again. Coming here for no reason. Losing the light source for no reason. Nothing can be done without him. The third possibility is closest to the fact. The fog before my eyes seems to be dissipating. The true nature of this world is gradually becoming clear and three-dimensional. However, Yan Zihe frowned deeply, his facial features slowly furrowed. Luo Luo came and accompanied her in conversation. Luo Luo left, he waited alone. How can this kind of interaction pattern be a bit like owner and pet? And the fall is still his. Lover. Master, pet, lover. Pets. Lover. Pets, objects, love, people. Cough, cough, cough. Yan Zihe was shocked. Jiang Misty Moon Restaurant. 806 Private Room. There is a unique cave in Yejian. On the left is a round table separated by light flowing gauze, while on the right is a landscape arranged against the wall. The murmuring water flows endlessly, echoing the green mountain wall hanging, creating a high-end in elegant Chinese-style beauty. What is more beautiful than the environment is the consumption level here, with an average of 6,666 per person. In order to entertain Lily, Brother Xiaolin has invested a lot of money this time. Jiang Luo and Xiao Lin arrived half an hour earlier than the agreed time. Lily is currently planning a dating variety show. It's a great opportunity. However, given your current situation, it's really difficult to reach a direct agreement. So, if it doesn't work out, don't be discouraged. If it doesn't work out this time, let's just brush your face on her. She still has some small tasks at her disposal. Xiao Lin earnestly explained. On the side, Jiang Luo sat, like a good student listening to the class, with his hands resting on the table and nodding occasionally to respond. She has always been sensible and obedient, willing to obey Xiaolin's arrangements. Moreover, she currently has no right to be capricious. Now, Jiang Luo is facing criticism from the entire internet. Jiang Luo has been in the industry for many years, always diligent and lukewarm. It wasn't until last year that the double-lead literary film, Twin Lotus, became popular, and she finally welcomed the spring of her career as the second female lead. The second daughter is a wicked woman who has been in close relationship with the female lead, Xiao Baihua, for many years. Ziya Baiwa is a beam of light in her life, she guards it wholeheartedly, and even does many conventional, bad things. The character of the wicked woman carries a sense of novelty, sending Jiang Luoping straight to the green clouds. The reason why she rose to fame with this role is partly due to her years of polished acting skills, which are delicate and realistic. On the other hand, she happened to have a cold and vicious face, perfectly matching the character from the inside out. Jiang Luo is 174 centimeters tall, thin, with a palmed face and delicate facial features that resemble ink paintings. Her snow-white skin and dark pupils complement each other vividly. A pair of eyes were born with a sense of fatigue, like a boring deity, gazing down at the uninteresting world. There is a small mole at the corner of the eye, coupled with a thin lip line, which is particularly sentimental. Laughing fashion has a certain charm. When not smiling, just look at each other like this, with lazy and dull eyes, and a sense of pressure that is already pressing. At that time, Jiang Luo and Xiao Baihua were nominated for the Golden Magnolia Best Actress Award, and their careers continued to climb, with even more extravagance coming to meet them. She and Xiaolin once thought that the future was bright and that the rise of the top was just around the corner. Unexpectedly, a week before the Golden Magnolia Awards, a black material about her swept the internet. That is a moving picture, in which she pushed a staff member from the set. Caption: playing villains in the play and bullying outside the play, being a good person before acting can also win a prize. The scene is indeed like this, but the fact is that she is facing the staff member in the play, and pushing and shoving is a movement in the play. Moreover, as it was a play, she only lightly pushed and did not exert any force on her hands. But, with a vengeful attitude, the truth is lost. A stone stirs up 1,000 waves, and curses cover the sky and earth. Some people say that people born from the heart, like Jiang Luo, are capable of bullying. Some people also say that no wonder the scenes are so realistic, it turns out they are all first-hand experiences. Some people also say that the staff are too miserable, receiving less than 1% of the salary from bullies and being bullied by bullies. Netizens have different opinions, but there is only one consensus. We must firmly resist Jiang Luo's winning the prize. Whether to win or not is not that important to Jiang Luo. Actor, to her, is just a profession, a job that guarantees her life. What she couldn't accept was that these ignorant netizens were venting their malice against her so recklessly on the internet. She sued the marketing account for spreading rumors and following the trend, and the staff in the animation also stepped forward to clarify. Unfortunately, netizens don't care. What they want is just a target that can be freely insulted. Unfortunately, Jiang Luo was selected. The online violence was massive, and Jiang Luo ultimately missed out on the Best Actress award. Even after the curtain fell on Jin Yulan, some netizens still use this to attack her. See, if it weren't for Jiang Luo's character problems, how could she not have won the prize? The staff who came forward to explain are too pitiful. Even if you're bullied, you're still forced to help the celebrity whitewash. Sorry for keeping you waiting. A soft voice appeared at the door, instantly pulling back Jiang Luo's swaying thoughts. It's Sister Lily. Put on a small theater. Yan Zihe likes to listen to Jiang Luo sing. As soon as she sang, her liking skyrocketed. So, Jiang Luo made a special effort to practice and played and sang a song called Little Star for him. After finishing the song, the agent brother who came by to record business materials applauded and said, Luo can now accept new music programs. Resultable, favorite rating .9999999. Jiang Luo was struck by lightning. Half a day later, a bone marrow-chilling voice came from the screen. Is there another man? Oh, this paper man is not only difficult to conquer, but also a bit jealous. For more small theaters, please follow my WB. Can you reach or not? End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Variety comes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Variety comes. We just arrived, it's not too late, said Shaolin warmly speaking. He took Lily's bag and arranged it for her. Jiang Luo also followed, Sister Lily. She tried her best to smile sweetly. Lily was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, You look quite kind. This is a joke. Even though this mockery about appearance made Jiang Luo feel a little uncomfortable, she had to squeeze out a smile. If you have something to ask for, you can only bow your head. Xiaolin said, We are falling. We are always obedient, and those people online are talking nonsense. Unlike Lily, who has a keen eye for pearls and can see through the essence of our falling at a glance. He led Lily into her seat, followed closely by Jiang Luo. Xiaolin ordered a few dishes in advance and had the kitchen prepare them first. After sitting down, he warmly handed the menu to Lily. Fortunately, Lily didn't intend to give them a big scolding. She casually ordered one and returned the menu. The pre-prepared dishes were quickly presented, and the three of them chatted while eating. With years of cultivating a tacit understanding among comrades, Xiaolin is responsible for output and Jiang Luo is responsible for maintaining a smile. Xiaolin and Lily chatted for half an hour, and Jiang Luo's cheeks stiffened with laughter. Thanks to Xiaolin's blessings, I can only come to Fuyue today. My friends and I said we were coming last week, but unfortunately we have to make an appointment in advance here, which is very troublesome. As we get older, people still like to eat Chinese food, but they can't get used to that French-style feast. Ah. Sister Lily should only be around 27 or 8, right? I'm already 35. I can't tell at all. Shaolin and Lily come and go, one sentence after another. The atmosphere was heated up, the betting was filled, and then there was a desperate situation. Xiao Lin poured water for Lily and casually asked, "Lily, what have you been busy with lately?" At this point, the dinner party officially enters the theme. Jiang Luo looked cautiously. Lily's expression remained as usual, still smiling and seemingly unprepared. In fact, the undercurrent is surging. There is no free dinner in the world, and everyone understands this truth. Recently, she said as her eyelids drooped and she rubbed the cups as usual, "We are preparing for a dating variety show and selecting guests." Moving her lips, Xiaolin was about to speak when Lily suddenly lifted her eyes and met Jiang Luo's 4 eyes, asking, "I wonder if Jiang Luo is interested or not." Surprisingly, Lily took the initiative. Jiang Luo was surprised, but suddenly understood that if it weren't for Lily's intention to invite her, she might not have agreed to Xiao Lin's meal appointment at all. It seems that Lily is their prey, but in reality, it's just Lily pushing the boat with the flow. Indeed, my mind is lively. After careful consideration, Jiang Luo said, "I haven't participated in any dating variety shows before, and I really want to give it a try. By the way, young people just need to try new things more, in order to have more opportunities." Lily agreed and then continued to open her mouth, speaking confidently, "Our variety show is about shooting celebrities falling in love with ordinary people, down to earth, and more resonant." She lightly picked her chin and said, "But don't worry, the amateur we've chosen won't be too plain. At least we'll take advantage of our looks. Audiences come to watch variety shows to relax and please their eyes, not to make them look sharp, right?" Xiao Lin and Jiang Luo laughed in unison and nodded frequently, like 2 puppets. In the past, most love shows used a combination of reality shows and observation rooms. This format was too outdated and the plot would be fragmented. Once there were editing errors, the viewing experience would be very poor and the error rate would be low. Therefore, we plan to change to a different format. With her eyes flickering, Lily continued, "The specific form is still being discussed and refined. It seems that there is currently no intention of revealing more." As for the idea of variety shows, she narrowed down the topic and said, "After all, we are not doing charity. If we want the show to look good, investment is necessary. Since the guests are vegetarian and have abandoned the traditional observation of guests, how can I impress the advertiser, Dad? Of course, there still need to be some explosive points, right?" Jiang Luo continued to nod. Xiaolin first sensed the profound meaning and hesitated a bit. He forced a smile and tried to interrupt, "Sister Lily." I think, Lily completely ignored Xiao Lin and stared straight at Jiang Luo, forcing herself, "If you can maintain your character, it would be a win-win situation for both the program and you." Jiang Luo blinked. Persona, does it refer to the persona of a wicked woman? Evil women assume so. Lily's implicit meaning is that if she wants to appear on the show, she needs to accept character arrangements and play a villain. Seeing Jiang Luo bewildered and Xiao Lin's expression difficult, Lily remained calm and composed, but her volume increased a bit. "I had to push myself out of favor to get in touch with Jiang Luo." Her eyebrows trembled, and Lily leaned over to look at Jiang Luo, propping her elbows up and lightly tapping her fingertips, with a commanding demeanor. Jiang Luo's current situation is not optimistic, his reputation has declined significantly, and colleagues in the project team have said they dare not use it. As for the risk, once it breaks out, it will definitely be a devastating blow to the program. I believe you all know this. Exquisite and beautiful eyes scanned the 2 people across from her, and Lily took another dose of medicine. To be honest, there are plenty of beautiful actors, including those with memories and personalities. Just on my way here, I received calls from 4 agents. It was because of my friendship with Xiaolin that I reported Jiang Luo. She sighed, her eyebrows and eyes lowered like weeping willows on a riverbank, as if she had suffered great injustice. Jiang Luo watched calmly, feeling a hint of admiration in his heart. A producer who doesn't want to be an actor is not a good producer. Lily's superb acting skills perfectly envelop her selfish goals. It seems to be for Jiang Luo. How? It seems to be paying for Jiang Luo. Wrapped in a warm and fluffy coat is a cold and prickly heart. Lily's brainwashing words will naturally not affect Jiang Luo's judgment, but aside from these, just looking at this opportunity, Jiang Luo still has a heart. Going to this love show is a double-edged sword. After appearing on the program, she can not only earn money but also increase exposure. What she currently lacks the most is exposure, and maybe she can also regain some reputation. However, if the production team is malicious and uses her as a gimmick, she may also become cannon fodder for worshipping the heavens. This is a big gamble. The bet is whether the production team has a conscience. But can it still be worse than now? She hasn't received any invitations for 5 months. Compared to becoming the cannon fodder for worshipping the heavens in the future, she is now running wildly on the path of becoming cannon fodder. Lily leaned forward slightly, like a rooster about to fight, extremely aggressive. That pair of sharp eyes seemed to be able to see through Jiang Luo's thoughts, and Lily hit the pain point directly. Of course, since I invited you, I will definitely protect you. You don't need to do any exaggerated things, such as pulling your hair or cursing. Besides, that's not easy to get through, is it? I just need to maintain your aloof image. You're an actor and your acting skills are good, so it's definitely not difficult for you. Speak eloquently. Daily update of 2 chapters, usually updated in the morning. Please help promote it, everyone. If your collection exceeds 100, there will be new small theaters falling off. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Home Stolen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Home Stolen. Jiang Luo glanced at Xiaolin and saw that Xiaolin's lips were tightly closed, staring at the edge of the table in a daze, probably calculating and hesitating. According to Jiang Luo's understanding of Xiaolin, not a single refusal indicates that he is very tempted. At the end of the day, there will always be a day when you have finished eating. Seizing this life-saving straw is the rational and correct decision. I'll take it. The indoor lighting is slightly yellow, warm and charming, and the sound of ginger falling is like a cool breeze, reaching straight up to the ceiling. A stone shatters the heavens. Lily smiled contentedly. Afterwards, they chatted for another hour, rambling and exchanging a wave of gossip within the circle. Lily and Xiaolin were chatting, while Jiang Luo listened. She really can't get in touch. Jiang Luo is very homey and has almost no contact with people in his circle. His only daily hobby is to paint online in a vest. She is the quietest and most responsible artist among the artists led by Kobayashi. Unfortunately, in the entertainment industry, being quiet is not a good word. After the dinner, he saw off Lily and got into the car. Xiaolin didn't rush to leave, grabbed the steering wheel, and remained silent for a moment. When he spoke up, his voice was slightly low. Do you really want to take on this resource? If you don't want to, don't force yourself. I'll think of a way. Click. Jiang Luo fastened his seatbelt and looked sideways at Xiaolin, grinning broadly. She signed with Xiaolin on the eve of graduation, and although he hasn't achieved any results for so many years, Xiaolin has put no less effort into her than other artists. Xiaolin is really like her big brother. The glamour of the city is reflected on the window glass, bustling with traffic and tall buildings, crowded and noisy. With the dazzling light, the interior of the car does not appear dim. Raising his hand, Jiang Luo solemnly patted Xiaolin's shoulder and said, "No way. Xiaolin, it's me who should be grateful to you. With a different agent, you might have run away long ago. How could you share the joys and sorrows with me? And..." She smiled and said, "I have a boyfriend to raise now. I want to work hard to make money." Ah. You. Xiaolin widened his eyes and scanned up and down. You have a little white face. Pop. Jiang Luo vomited blood. After spending a minute explaining to Shaolin what a love game is, she then gave him a detailed introduction to Doomsday Love. Actually, according to the game's setting, I can also recommend multiple characters at the same time, but I only chose Yan Zihe because I only like him. Jiang Luo said more in these short 2 to 3 minutes than she did at dinner all night. With a deeper understanding, Shaolin's face showed an increasingly complex expression. When the last sound of the character landed, Xiaolin confirmed, "Are you dating a game character?" Jiang Luo looked serious and said, "Yes." After a long pause, Xiaolin cast a sympathetic gaze and struggled to speak, "In the future. I will do my best to take care of you more. You. Take good care of yourself and don't put too much pressure on yourself." Jiang Luo. I love taking a shower, my skin is good, oh. After 5 months, with another job, Jiang Luo was in a good mood. When she returned home, she hummed a tune as soon as she closed the door. Removing the shackles of social interaction, her bones are still filled with innocence and romance. Taking off his coat and casually throwing it on the sofa, Jiang Luo fell down like an iron plate. The worm-like cricket pupa adjusted her position a few times, comfortably resting on the armrest of the sofa, and eagerly opened Doomsday Love. Continue to conquer Yan Zihe. Game loading. Dear player, welcome to the apocalypse and save the world with your ideal lover, Yan Zihe. Let's save the world together. Enter the game. Favorite point 1, favorite point 2, favorite point 2, favorability rating point 34, favorability rate point 91, Jiang Luo. Overly surprised, as if thunderstruck. Jiang Luo twisted his neck stiffly and slowly. Move your gaze up, and the favorability bar shows point 1089. Jiang Luo. Dong. Ouch. A salted fish flipped over, and Jiang Luo got stuck between the sofa and coffee table. Help. Has your home been stolen? Strict brush. The light is on. One room is fully lit. Yan Zihe immediately turned around to take a look. Consistent with his conjecture. At the moment when the light source was restored, the cursor on the screen began to flash. The departure and arrival of falling determine the slumber and awakening of this world. At present, he needs to further determine whether the space where the fall is located is consistent with the time here. What time is it now? He asked. Jiang, what time is it now? Normally, shouldn't players say things like, "Welcome back," after going online? However, based on the current situation, it should not be possible to measure the design of this game using common sense. After taking a deep breath, Jiang Luo got up from the crack and sat cross-legged next to the coffee table. What time is it now? Extract key points and time from this question. So, are you telling her that it's because she has been offline for too long that her favorability plummets? So simple. Where is this Earth? Favorite point 1, the past is vividly remembered. Jiang Luo scratched his head. Free text interaction is much more difficult than making options. She regretted roast about the strange options before. It's better to make a choice, at least there are still options. Boosting her spirits, she carefully read the questions in the dialog box again. What time is it now? Based on my student experience in answering questions, for short answer questions, when I don't know how to answer them, I write down all the points that come to my mind. If that's not possible, I'll copy the question stem again. What time is it now? It's 20:39. Time flies so fast, we've been together for a day. Yan Zihe, I'll be with you more in the future. No matter what happens or encounters any difficulties, I'll do my best to accompany you on this adventure. Soon, we'll be back to the experimental building. Answer score point. 20.39, already included. Other keywords. Companionship, laboratory building. Already included. Jiang Luo wrote 500 words fluently, and if it weren't for the word limit in the dialog box, she could still continue writing. Well, you have to give it some favor, right? Strict time is consistent. He and Luo are in different spaces in the same time dimension. Yan Zihe constructed 3 spaces in his brain. Located in the CDM laboratory building, this enclosed room. In the room, he can only communicate with Luo through a light screen. In the CDM laboratory building, they can appear simultaneously. More information is needed. The text sent by Luo was densely packed on a page. My gaze swept over the latter half. After a moment's pause, Yan Zihe bent his lips. Jiang favorability +1, favorability +1, finally. See the plus sign again. And it gave me 2 likes in a row. See, as long as you take it seriously, you can still take it. Jiang Luo was overjoyed. When the gaze touches the liking bar, the excitement brought by +2 instantly disappears. Point 1087, the top priority is to increase favorability. Explanation of Jiang Luo's favorability. Favorability refers to the level of intimacy between players and their lovers, which can be improved through interaction with lovers, completing tasks, and other means. Whenever the favorability reaches a certain value, specific functions can be unlocked. Saying a lot is equivalent to not saying anything. Jiang Luo. Junk game. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Warm. Soft. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Warm. Soft. She hasn't reached the experience point to unlock daily tasks yet. The outcome of the interaction was too tragic. She leaned in front of the computer and searched, how can I quickly get a good impression of Doomsday Love? Unlike increasing experience points, there is no detailed guide found for improving favorability. Under the topic, there are only discussions among netizens. Jiang Luo quickly browsed through, trying to find some useful information. Wow, Yan Zihe is so gentle. I was originally very sad to be scolded by the leader today, but as soon as I went online, I received his encouragement and suddenly felt full of strength. Jiang Luo. Yan Zihe should be the best strategist, right? Answering anything can increase favorability. Jiang Luo. I am Song Ming and Yan Zihe, both pushing. Indeed, Yan Zihe is gentler. Jiang Luo. Glancing at the phone, then at the laptop. Jiang Luo was stunned. Yan Zihe emphasizes gentleness. Warm. Gentle. Is it gentle? Does her Yan Zihe seem different from others? Take another look at your phone. In the picture, Yan Zihe's face sparkles with harmless light from humans and animals, pure and beautiful. The combination of white T-shirts and light blue jeans gave him a sense of age. Like a summer dawn, behind the soft flowing clouds lies a vibrant power. It has to be said that when it comes to her favorability, Yan Zihe is indeed quite gentle. But Jiang Luo stared at the favorability score. That negative number of over 1,000 is just too eye-catching. Did she download a pirated app? Or has it been infected with a virus? Bug. Is it a bug? Jiang Luo was confused, typing on the keyboard with a clattering sound, and posted under the topic. I'm following Yan Zihe, and his favorability is now 0.1087. Has anyone encountered the same situation? As soon as the post was posted, it immediately received a large number of replies. Click on it, it's all ha. Ha ha ha, sisters, you can give up. You may not be compatible with Yan Zihe. You'd better try Song Ming. Ha 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 ha. Huh, it may be a version issue. This game was created by a small company. I heard that before it went live. I didn't expect it to be so popular, so there might be a bug. I also encountered some bugs at the beginning, but it was fixed after updating a version yesterday. Hahaha, you probably got a hidden plot, right? Try not interacting in the cabin, go ahead and brush the plot. The more plots you brush, the deeper your bond will be, and the easier it will be to gain favor later on. Hahaha, you have to pay for what you should pay for. You didn't have a chance, it all depends on you spending money. Jiang Luo. The rows of ha seem to come with built-in sound effects, lingering 360 degrees in her ears without any dead corners. Big head. She checked the version number and it is the latest version. Is it because the bonds are too shallow? After all, she only passed the introduction and hasn't even unlocked chapter 1. Otherwise, why not uninstall and reinstall? Just thinking about it, ding dong, new news came. Looking down, Jiang Luo's pupils suddenly dilated. Yan Zihe surprisingly strict to obtain more information, one needs to first win the favor of Luo. In order not to fall into a passive position, Yan Zihe decided to take the initiative to show goodwill to Luo. Luo, nice to meet you. I hope we can successfully save the world. The gaze fell on the screen, and Yan Zihe patiently waited. As expected, Luo quickly gave an energetic reply. We can definitely save the world. I will always be by your side. Always Jiang favorability +1, it's a plus again. This game is finally back to normal. Then save it again. Boost experience points, refresh storylines, and enhance bond with Yan Zihe. Jiang Luo reopened the webpage for browsing experience guides. The first rule is to make money. Yes, we still have to pay for it. Xiaolin once said that problems that can be solved with money are not called problems. She clicked on the shiny red diamond logo and entered them all. Clothing, world cuisine, combat equipment. A dazzling array of everything. Anything that players can think of can be sold in the mall. Jiang Luo deeply felt the determination of game developers to make money. To purchase goods, you need to first recharge coins. 8 coins, 8 yuan, with an additional 2 coins for the first recharge, 88 gold coins, 88 yuan, with an additional 22 gold coins for the first recharge, 888 gold coins, 888 yuan, with an additional 222 gold coins for the first recharge. 1 gold coin equals 1 RMB. This kind of detail doesn't have to be so real, does it? Jiang Luo. Click to purchase 888 coins. Congratulations to Miss Luo for completing her first charge, unlocking the achievements of love, star and gaining 100 experience points. Congratulations to Miss Luo for recharging over 100, unlocking the achievements of love, flowing cloud and gaining 100 experience points. Congratulations to Miss Luo for having over 300 experience points and unlocking daily tasks. Earn 2 medals at once, earn 200 experience points, and also unlock the mission function. Jiang Luo couldn't help but sigh. Money is really good. Leaning against the sofa, she bent her legs and hugged her knees, tirelessly starting to buy clothes. Sports hoodie 18 gold coins, business set 68 gold coins, casual shirt 38 coins. Yan Zihe appeared in his new clothes before his eyes. Sports boy Yan Zihe is full of vitality. Mature tyrant Yan Zihe, restrained and seductive. Gentle milk dog Yan Zihe, cute and fresh. Ah, everyone is on her heart. Click to purchase one by one. Who makes her boyfriend look good in everything he wears. Congratulations to Miss Luo for having over 500 experience points and unlocking the plot of Chapter 1. Come and save the world with Yan Zihe strict thorny. Familiar electric current sound. It came from behind. Yan Zihe turned around and found that the wardrobe was glowing. He walked over and opened the cabinet door. There are about 10 more clothes inside. He quickly walked back to the screen and said, "Did you give me the clothes?" Luo said, "Yes, I see you've been wearing this outfit all along, so I bought you some new clothes that fit you very well. Do you like them? Falling can provide a supply for the room. This means that he can have deeper connections with the outside world. Yan Zihe raised his lips slightly and rubbed his fingers. What he really needs. A tool that can retrieve information. Yan Zihe said, "Thank you for giving me the clothes. I really like them." Favorability +3, surprisingly, it's +3. It's not +1, it's not +2, it's actually +3. This money has not been spent in vain. The corners of his mouth were wide enough to reach his temples, and Jiang Luo smiled like spring water rippling. Yan Zihe said, Luo, I have a heartless request. Can I exchange those clothes for a computer?" The smile froze. Want a computer? Ah, because he's a genius. So not interested in clothes, only interested in computers. No, isn't he a biologist? If you really need props that correspond to favorability, at least it should be a microscope, right? Is it because it's in the cabin that the microscope doesn't come in handy? So the item needed is a computer. Ah. I don't understand. Although it is not possible to analyze why Yan Zihe wants a computer, what Jiang Luo can confirm is that this must be an invisible prompt from the system. Finger tapping lightly. Okay. Jiang Luo returned to the mall without hesitation. Enter Digital Product Frequency Division. Digital Group Gift Package, Computer *1 plus Phone *1488 gold coins, Computer, 388 gold coins, Mobile Phone, 288 gold coins, Happy weekend everyone. I went to soak in hot springs, and you guys. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. You are lying. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. You are lying. The gift package is indeed more cost-effective. But what is the use of a mobile phone? Jiang Luo opened the prop explanation. Mobile phones are essential communication devices in our daily lives. After your lover has a mobile phone, they can contact you anytime and anywhere. Imagine, we often see scenes in idol dramas where male and female protagonists in different spaces hold their phones and send ambiguous messages. Isn't it particularly sweet? As long as you purchase a mobile phone, you can bring idol dramas into your life. Jiang Luo. The central idea of refining prop descriptions. Buy it. So, Jiang Luo bought it. I have tasted the sweetness brought by Krypton, it's really difficult to restrain myself. Strict thorny. There is an extra computer and a mobile phone on the table out of thin air. At the same time, the light screen on the wall disappeared. Yan Zihe walked to his desk and picked up his phone to check. As he expected, the light screen was completely reduced to the phone screen. Mobile phones only have dialog boxes, and they have no other use except for contacting Luo. Looking up again, the wardrobe door was slightly open, revealing that each piece of clothing inside was still neatly hanging. Not replacing with clothes, but adding a computer and phone for him. His eyes drooped, fixed on the object, and Yan Zihe paused, as if lost in thought. For a long time, he just sat at the table. Yan Zihe said, "Thank you, Luo. If there is anything I can do for you, please make sure to let me know." Favorite rating +14, to repay kindness, Yan Zihe is so polite. Wuwu heart is like vanilla ice cream in summer, melted by warmth. Jiang Luo gently caressed the screen. She finally felt Yan Zihe's tenderness. This junk game isn't that junk either. I carefully read the text in the dialog box again. She doesn't need Yan Zihe to do anything, as long as her favorability can continue to rise and unlock voice interaction as soon as possible. The lines from Twin Lotus flashed through Jiang Luo's mind, and he replied, "Everything I do is my wish. Yan Zihe, I don't need your reward, I just want to do my best to protect you." Favorite rating plus 15. Wow, Jiang falls into the starry eyes. Since her liking system stopped twitching, the corners of her mouth have been constantly upward. The chest felt as if it was filled with pink bubbles, and every breath was filled with the fragrance of white peaches. It's the scent of love. Jiang Luo has completely fallen. I don't want to delay any longer, she quickly continues to brush up on the plot. Click on the chapter map and enter chapter 1. Strict in the blink of an eye, I return to the CDM laboratory building. It's like a moment of enlightenment after a moment of confusion, and the memories of being in the bedroom are like a dream. Now it's still the same scene as before. The girl wearing a white coat by the pool looked at him with a fiery expression, but her eyes were empty. Like a string puppet, every move is stiff and slow. Yan Zihe walked cautiously and caught a glimpse of the work permit on her chest. Luo, 25 years old, CDM ordinary experimenter. This is a fall, that's right. However, the fall in front of me is more like a puppet. With an expressionless expression, Yan Zihe spoke up and asked, Luo, is that you? It's me. Yan Zihe, let's leave the laboratory quickly. The laboratory building is about to collapse. A mechanical sound without emotions. The puppet fell and walked forward, brushing past him. The light shines through the frosted window and becomes uncontrollable quicksand, dispersing in the air. In the laboratory, white walls and silver equipment are displayed, creating extremely low temperatures. It's cold here. Yan Zihe remained motionless, staring at her and slightly opening his lips. The sound is not loud, but it is firm enough to penetrate everything. He said, "You're lying." Jiang favorite point 1 Jiang Luo. No, what does this mean? Who is she? Did you have another convulsion? This game needs to be renamed, it can't be called Love of the End, it should be called Love of the Wind. Wait, still say thinking of something, Jiang Luo exclaimed in surprise. Is it necessary to separate game characters from players? Is it not about having players play a certain role, but about having them personally participate in the game? Will this game have such advanced design concepts? It doesn't look like it. I can only treat a dead horse as a living horse doctor. Let's give it a try. So how should she answer? Fingers lightly tapped on the side of the phone, and Jiang Luo racked her brain to ponder. After a while, her eyes lit up. Sincerity is an eternal skill. She replied, that's right, this body is not me, but no matter what kind of body I am in, it is always me who communicates with you. I am Luo. Anyway, I'm not sure. After licking my dry lips, Jiang Luo clicked to confirm sending. In the picture, Yan Zihe stands on the left side, and Luo has reached the door. Jiang Luo adjusted his angle and looked straight at Yan Zihe standing in place. His expression was light, calm, yet slightly different from before. Jiang Luo just noticed that Yan Zihe's expression would change slightly in different scenes. Either the eyebrows and eyes droop, as if in thought, or the eyes are wide open and sharp. It's not an exaggerated physical movement, it's just a slight change in demeanor. So, this little game is quite meticulous in drawing. Yan Zihe's lips moved, and a banner of text floated below the screen. Got it. Favorite rating plus 5 yes. It's really like this. Games are about breaking free from the constraints of players playing roles and allowing characters to directly converse with players. To retract the statement that End of Love is a garbage game, this game has a great sense of immersion. Give it a 5-star rating when you go offline. Strict guess it right. Luo is a conscious entity that does not truly exist in this world. So, perhaps he and Luo are people who live completely under different world constructions. However, they are able to communicate through a certain mechanism. And obviously, the world he is in is lower than the world he falls in order to be constrained by it. Run quickly. The meteorite has fallen. The experimental building is about to collapse. Outside the house came a clamor and commotion. Glancing at the pale doorway, Yan Zihe set off and said, "Let's go." Luo Luo. Okay. The two of them quickly ran out of the laboratory. The weather is sunny, with a large amount of sunlight falling and white gold staining the walls. The distant horizon was blue-green, with meteorites streaking past like shooting stars. Bang! Boom! Landing, a huge mushroom cloud rises. The corridor was filled with people running, their figures hasty and chaotic. They are wearing consistent white coats and are all CDM experimenters. Like puppets falling, these people also have empty eyes, as if they have no soul. They ran from the south to the north and then disappeared into the stairwell at the end. But soon, they will appear again from the south, like a cycle, and also like a guide. Is this the real world? Anyway, follow the crowd first. Yan Zihe ran ahead, his back thin and resolute. Just like the standard answer that never goes wrong in answer sheet analysis. As long as you look and follow, it's enough to feel at ease. Jiang Luo manipulated the direction to make Luo Luo closely follow Yan Zihe's footsteps. After entering the stairs, a burst of white light flashed and they arrived at the new floor. There is a number plate hanging on the wall, on the 3rd floor. Based on experience, there are no unfounded scenarios. I went to soak in hot springs today and thought about a plot about soaking in hot springs. I decided whether to include it or write about a small theater, hee. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. No. I can't read it anymore. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. No. I can't read it anymore. Just as Jiang Luo was speculating about what would happen next, with a loud bang, half of the building collapsed. The originally straight wall collapsed towards the two of them. Switching perspectives, the full screen is filled with collapsed behemoths, as if they are about to be buried under the wall in the next second. Danger is imminent. Despite knowing it was a game, Jiang Luo couldn't help but sigh. Epinephrine surges, and the sound of heartbeat pierces through the eardrums. At the critical moment, a figure flashed by. Yan Zihe tightly hugged Luo Luo and protected her with his body. The screen gradually darkens. End of this chapter. Jiang Luo. Is the plot of chapter 1 only about running? Please, it's not a temple escape. The scene returns to the cabin, where Yan Zihe is still in his original position, screen top right corner, 21.17. It's time to take a shower and go to bed. When there is no work, Jiang Luo usually goes to bed at 10:30 sharp. Making a film requires good physical condition. Frequent staying up late can cause significant damage to the skin. Compared to medical beauty, the best maintenance is to sleep on time. Stretching lazily, Jiang Luo clicked on the dialog box and entered, "Good night." Strict Luo Luo is leaving. Once left behind, the whole world will fall into darkness. Computers are bound to be unusable. Yan Zihe immediately replied, "Can you chat with me again?" This is a delaying strategy. When sending messages, he quickly opens the computer and needs to seize the time. Yan Zihe actually took the initiative to chat with her. What kind of trick is this? Is this the legendary deepening of bonds? Yan Zihe is starting to rely on her. Jiang Luo was pleasantly surprised and walked towards the wash basin holding her phone. Strict Luo Luo said, "Wow, okay." Double affirmation. Yan Zihe couldn't help but curl his lips. Luo Luo seems to not refuse any of his requests. Jiang, favorability +2 now. Can you gain favor by answering questions? The difficulty of the game has sharply declined. Keep it up. I believe within 3 days, your favorability will turn from negative to positive. Jiang Luo is full of confidence. Strict Yan Zihe. Luo Luo, do you enjoy exploring? Luo Luo said, "Of course I do." As long as I'm with you, I'm happy no matter what I do. Yan Zihe chatted with Luo while rapidly typing on the keyboard. Enter, Yan Zihe, and click search. What pops up is a profile page with his photo and some text introduction. Yan Zihe, hailed as a genius biologist, is only 25 years old and has reached the pinnacle of the CDM, Change the Destiny of Mankind, organization. All are known information. The scene of just being in the experimental building appeared before my eyes. Those running people are not real people, they have no soul, like puppets, and also like NPCs. Yes. They are all like NPCs in the game. Repeatedly doing the same actions, guiding the player in the direction of movement. He won't be an NPC in the game. Yan Zihe's back cooled down. His expression became solemn, and he couldn't wait to continue searching. Game Yan Zihe. It's the same page. Yan Zihe, hailed as a genius biologist, is only 25 years old. It's too strange. Is a computer just a decoration? I thought the truth was within reach, but now I suddenly realized that this world is ethereal. Glancing at the phone, the latest one was a falling reply. Luo said, as long as I am by your side, my troubles will be washed away. Yan Zihe, you are a beam of light in my life. Falling. Yan Zihe replied, I believe we will become good partners. Putting down his phone, he searched for Luo on the web page. Luo Encyclopedia Chinese words, Pinyin Luo, Zhuyin. 96% of people also searched for Luo Jiang and found Luo on Jiang. Explanation of falling, meaning of falling, Han Dynasty Dictionary of falling. Completely different. After searching, all the results are open web pages. Does searching for him bring up a fixed page? He searched for Yan Zihe and Yan Luo again, and the results were diverse. As he thought, only he is directional information. His existence is more like a specific symbol, standing in this world as a fulcrum. And Luo is someone from outside this world. Jiang favorability +1, favorability +2, favorability +2, even in the gap between blowing hair and not being able to reply to messages, favorability continues to rise. Is it the goodwill that was inexplicably deducted before compensation? Jiang Luo was puzzled. Or is it a preferential treatment for cryptocurrency players? She finally wiped her hair, hung up the towel, and walked towards the bedroom with her phone. The current favorability value is 999, although she may still be ridiculed by the group, it also brings infinite hope to her. Haha. Leaning against the bedside, she yawned for a long time. 22.29, it's time to go to sleep. My eyelids darkened and I kept falling down. But can there still be this kind of preferential treatment tomorrow where you don't have to do anything and your popularity continues to rise? Jiang Luo was struggling and reluctant to part. In the picture, Yan Zihe has turned off his computer and walked to the wardrobe. He opened the wardrobe door and took out a set of pajamas. That pajama was selected by Jiang Luo, in the shape of a wolf, gray, furry, with a pair of huge ears hanging from the top. Yan Zihe. Is this going to change clothes? Pupils dilated, and Jiang Luo instantly regained consciousness. How could Yan Zihe change clothes on his own? This program is designed so beautifully. Yan Zihe, who was standing by the bed before he could express his sigh, had already taken off his white T-shirt neatly. In an instant, a white body tightly grasped Jiang Luo's gaze. Narrow waist, wide shoulders, fair and transparent skin, with distinct abdominal muscle lines faintly visible. In an instant, the air was filled with a strong scent of hormones. Like the reddest and brightest cherry on the branches, sweet and tempting. Yan Zihe seemed to be right in front of him, within reach. This. Jiang Luo's words are blocked. This. This painting is too realistic. Her cheeks blushed as if being roasted by fire. My head is more like a locomotive honking its horn, almost spitting out hot white steam. Help, I'm so shy because of a character no. I can't watch anymore, but I still want to see it rational clamor. Don't look, don't look. Emotions, however, silently tugged at Jiang Luo's gaze without saying a word. After changing his shirt, Yan Zihe bowed and planned to take off his pants. Is this an adult-oriented plot animation? Jump. Where is the jump? Jiang Luo searched everywhere for the skip button, but couldn't find it at all. Yan Zihe, pop. The phone is folded upside down on the blanket. The sound of rapid breathing is particularly abrupt in a quiet room. Jiang Luo's face turned red and his ears turned red. How did this kind of scene pass the review? Is it difficult to attract players just by relying on this? There's no bottom line, right? Ding dong. A message prompt came from the phone. Jiang Luo picked it up carefully. Her eyes narrowed slightly, and after confirming through her slender eyelids that there was no harmful information, she just opened her eyes with peace of mind. The changed clothes were folded in all directions and placed on the bedside table. Yan Zihe had put on his pajamas and leaned quietly against the bedside, holding his phone and sending her a message. A gray little wolf cub that makes people want to rub, and their hearts are about to turn cute. The gaze shifted downwards and fell into the dialogue box. Yan Zihe said, "Fallen, rest early." Ha. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Good night. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Good night. There was still some residual excitement, and Jiang Luo's face was still feverish. I can imagine that she finds herself funny again. It's just a game character, why is that so? Take a deep breath and try to calm your mood. She sent, "Good night, Yan Zihe." Yan Zihe said, "Good night, Luo Luo." Exiting the game, Jiang Luo placed her phone on the bedside table, turned off the lights, lay down flat, and pulled up the blanket. Close your eyes, and you'll still see Yan Zihe in front of you. Wrapped in furry pajamas, with no expression on his face, his eyes like two obsidians, cute and cute. The corners of his lips rose, and Jiang Luo's heart thumped. Is this the feeling of a heartbeat? I haven't experienced it in the third dimension for too long. Although this game sometimes cheats Krypton and is very garbage, it may lag, the plot is also very watery, and there may be scenes with no bottom line, but my boyfriend is too cute, isn't he? With Yan Zihe present, those unbearable details have become tolerable. Boyfriend, I can definitely successfully conquer you. Outside the window, the bright moon hangs high, reflecting on dreams inside and outside. The whole city is coated with a layer of silver, gentle and peaceful. Strict it's a rich darkness. A pair of bright black eyes suddenly opened. With sharp eyes, Yan Zihe scrutinized the world. Games. If this is a gaming world, then everything becomes reasonable. The CDM experimental building is the main storyline. The bedroom is a resting area. Those without souls are NPCs. Luo Luo is a player. Then he is a game character. However, this game is different from other games in his cognition. Here, he has a romantic relationship with the player. But why does he have independent thinking? Awakening of consciousness. Or time travel. Perhaps he is not even a person from this world. Perhaps he became Yan Zihe by some kind of coincidence. The guess may seem reasonable, but in reality it is very bold. More information is needed to verify. The breakthrough point for verification can only be landing Jiang Bully Coffee. Bully Coffee. Bully Coffee. Get out of the entertainment industry. From the heart, you are trash. It's a nightmare. Strangely, Jiang Luo was able to clearly realize that she was dreaming. I have had countless similar dreams. People wearing pale masks and black robes approached her with tridents. They have no specific image, and their masks are filled with harsh language. They surrounded her, waved weapons at her, shouted and cursed at her. Buzzing and rumbling. Endless in the ear. My eyes seemed to be covered in dust, dim and lifeless. Jiang Luo stood in the center of the storm, feeling helpless, insignificant, and lonely. She thought that the cyberbullying wouldn't have any impact on her. In fact, she does eat, drink, draw, and play games as usual, except for these irregular nightmares. Bully coffee. Bully coffee. Bully coffee. The sound of shouting is getting closer and closer. Until just a short distance away. Jiang Luo calmly looked around. The black robes stared at her and shouted at her. She is not afraid of them. Just dejected because of them. The garden in my heart has become barren, giving birth to 7 twisted weeds and vines, intertwined tightly, weaving a web called despair. Looking at the world through the grid, the world becomes barren. How long will this take? It's like walking on an endless road, exhausted and still having to drag a heavy body forward. Step by step. Step by step. Falling down. As the sound sounded, Jiang Luo's hand fell into a soft patch. Turning around, it was Yan Zihe shining brightly. White light envelopes, sacred and beautiful. He pulled her through the crowded masked man and ran into the street after the summer rain. The clear water surface reflects the clear sky, a magnificent rainbow, and Yan Zihe wearing wolf-down pajamas. The back in front is thin but firm, and the chest seems to be filled with cotton, full and soft. Yan Zihe turned his head to look at her, his face covered in a layer of orange afterglow, and his eyebrows and eyes melted in such softness. He curved his eyes and said one by one, "Let's go save the world, Luo Luo. Let's go save the world, Luo Luo. Let's go save the world, Luo Luo. Open your eyes." The bright and soft colors dissipated, leaving only a dull and indistinct gray and black. Jiang Luo touched his phone and pressed it to light up. 6:41. The winter morning is particularly cold. Turn on the air conditioning and wait until the temperature rises before she can get up in one go. Brush, pull open the curtains. The sky outside is thick navy blue, and there are already many elderly people exercising in the community square. Stretching her arms, she stood in front of the glass window, following the elderly to move her muscles and bones. A new day has begun. After washing up, Jiang Luo came to the kitchen, boiled water, and went down. Standing in front of the cooking table, waiting for the cooked noodles, she couldn't help but reminisce about her dream just now. The water vapor rises, and through the thin mist, it makes the smile exceptionally clear. She took out her phone from her pocket and clicked on Doomsday Love. Strict the sudden light woke Yan Zihe up. Drowsy-eyed, I touched my phone and glanced at it. It was not yet 7 o'clock. He rubbed his eyes and slowly got up. This player even works so hard to play games. Jiang, favorability +1. Is it a positive rating when online? Jiang Luo's eyes widened in surprise. She quickly typed, "Good morning, Yan Zihe." Yan Zihe replied, "Good morning." Then, he put down his phone and walked into the bathroom. The bathroom is a private area, and you can only see the lights on and off through the frosted glass on the door, with the door tightly fitted. This game is indeed very realistic in some details of its design. Strict, goo 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 goo. Just as I came out of the bathroom, my stomach let out a cry. Yan Zihe only remembered that he had not eaten for a long time. He can't say exactly how long it will be. There was a refrigerator standing next to the dining table, and he walked over to see what food was available to eat. The door opened, it was empty. Not even a rotten vegetable leaf. Jiang, goo 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 goo. A banner floated out of the screen. It's like sound effects. Looking again, Yan Zihe stood in front of the refrigerator, lost in thought. Yan Zihe. Hungry. Need to feed. This game never misses any opportunity to make money. Lowering my head, the milk pot was rumbling and the noodles were surging. So Jiang Luo opens a shopping mall, enters the World Cuisine channel, finds noodles, and clicks to purchase. Strict thorny. An extra hot noodle dish appeared on the table. Does Luo know he's hungry? Does this mean that Luo can see his every move? This is also in line with the game hypothesis. Players are looking down at this world from a divine perspective. Sitting at the table, Yan Zihe picked up his phone and sent, Luo, thank you. Luo. I hope you like it. The sentence ends with an emoji, which is quite cute. Yan Zihe hooked his lips. The round bowl is emitting hot air and wafting a fragrant aroma. He sat at the table, with a straight and neat posture, holding a wooden chopstick in one hand and a bowl in the other. The phone is placed on the table and can be seen from the side view. If you want to grasp this world, you need to learn more about falling. Yan Zihe asked, Luo, are you getting up so early for work? It's Monday again. Will there be any new friends coming to see my new book this week? End of this chapter. Chapter 10. System unable to recognize your instructions. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. System unable to recognize your instructions. Favorability +2, favorite rating +5, favorability +1. Jiang Luo walked towards the dining table with a milk pot in his hand, his eyes fixed on his phone screen, and his smile never faded. I hope the popularity can maintain this frequency of growth. Unlocking voice interaction is just around the corner. But what does Yan Zihe mean by work? It has been confirmed before that Yan Zihe can break free from game restrictions and talk to the player himself. Does this work refer to her own work? Or does it refer to the job of an experimenter in the game? Jiang Luo found that this game always brought her some surprises and confusion. This elusive feeling actually adds a lot of fun. After setting up the dishes, she sat down and typed on her phone, saying, the early bird has worms to eat. I'm also eating noodles. Let's have breakfast together and then save the world together. Is her reply too complicated? However, it just happens to test how intelligent the language system is. Favorability +1. Unexpectedly, as soon as the message was sent, it received a positive rating. Can you really understand it? She adjusted the screen to the other side of the table, facing Yan Zihe. Yan Zihe lowered his head to look at his phone, his expression not fully displayed, but the raised corners of his lips were enough to indicate everything. He didn't reply, he just sat there contemplating. For a moment, Jiang Luo unexpectedly saw vitality on Yan Zihe. It seems like a living character. This feeling is wonderful. She simply couldn't believe that the game manufacturer was an unremarkable small company. After some thought, Jiang Luo decided to give it a try again. In the past, on my birthday, my mother would get up early in the morning to cook longevity noodles for me. After work, she was not around my parents. Every time before my birthday, my mother would call to remind me to eat longevity noodles. Can words completely unrelated to the game be understood? Jiang Luo waited and waited. Strict birthday. Keep your gaze fixed on these two words. If this is really a gaming world, Yan Zihe cannot directly tell Luo that he is a thoughtful gaming character. If Luo believes it is a virus in the game and never goes online again, he may be trapped in the darkness forever. The consequences are unimaginable. The best way is to gradually understand the fall and then seek breakthroughs from her. Birthday is a useful piece of information. Learning the tone of the game character, Yan Zihe sent, Luo, when is your birthday? When you celebrate your birthday, I will remind you to eat longevity noodles. Jiang so thoughtful. Isn't this 10,000 times more considerate than a boy in the third dimension who can't even report his girlfriend's birthday? Yan Zihe can not only recognize her words, but also identify key information points based on her words and complete conversations with her. The design of this game is amazing. Jiang Luo immediately made up his mind to make more money and not let this small game go bankrupt. With her lips pursed, she was about to reply on August 10th when suddenly she paused. She has talked too much and has become accustomed to it herself. August 10th was the day that Xiaolin asked the master to calculate for her, saying it would be a red day. So, her encyclopedia and materials were all filled in according to August 10th. But in fact, her real birthday is March 27th. This is a game. In this world, she can be the most authentic version of herself. Delete word for word, she entered. March 27th. Click to send. Yan Zihe replied, I have written it down. At that time, I will remind you to eat longevity noodles. Jiang Luo lifted his phone and placed it vertically in front of the bowl. She and Yan Zihe are facing each other across the screen. On the screen, Yan Zihe is eating noodles. Outside the screen, Jiang Luo is also eating noodles. Like a mirror image. There is only one screen between the real world and the virtual world. After breakfast, Jiang Luo remained motionless, lazily holding her cheeks and admiring the little figures on the screen. Yan Zihe's eating posture is very elegant, chewing slowly and not impatient. He has always been calm and contented, like a wild swan on the banks of the Seine, proud and pure. Jiang Luo admires the painter of Love at the End of the World, who was able to create such a stunning portrait, which happened to capture her aesthetic. What's even more rare is that not only is it static and visually appealing, but Yan Zihe's movements are also lifelike, with better attention to detail than many large game productions. Ah! It would be even better if we could have voice communication. I'm looking forward to it too much. After finishing the noodles, Yan Zihe began to tidy up the table, and only then did Jiang Luo get up and tidy up. The phone didn't move, it kept standing upright. They are busy synchronously in two different worlds. At this moment, time and space seem to be intertwined. After tidying up, Jiang Luo returned to the table and found that Yan Zihe had finished first and had already sat down at his desk playing with the computer. A bit speechless and a bit curious. Why does Yan Zihe like playing computer games so much? Is the computer his destiny? However, it is worth noting that as long as Yan Zihe sits in front of his desk and faces the computer, his favorability will continue to rise without any reason. Favorability +1, favorability +2, favorability +1. Given that this game is often unpredictable, Jiang Luo has no intention of worrying about the relationship between computers and favorability. Now, she is filled with some other excitement. The scene of breakfast just now gave her inspiration. She wanted to draw a picture of herself and Yan Zihe in a broken dimension. Returning to the room, he took out his pad and drawing board, and Jiang Luo sat back. The day is bright and the sun shines a little. Go through the French window and climb to the corner of the sofa. Jiang Luo shifted his position and arrived at the living room, basking in the sunlight. She held the pen and hooked a few lines, suddenly giving a flash of inspiration. Since the language system of Doomsday Love is so powerful, will there be any other special features? For example, what would be the effect if Yan Zihe were to paint her? She clicked on the interactive interface and found that there was indeed an option to paint, but the icon was grayed out and the function had not been unlocked yet. According to the style of this game, it definitely requires spending money to purchase. Jiang Luo made a prediction. She clicked on the mall and as expected, she found painting in the Love Skills section. Love painting 28 gold coins, it's not expensive. Click to purchase without hesitation. Strict thorny. Next to the computer appeared a drawing board and paint. Staring blankly at these items, a hint of ominous premonition wrapped around Yan Zihe's heart. No, it won't be that. Not long after, he received a message from Luo Luo. Yan Zihe, please draw a portrait of me. Yan Zihe said. Do game characters have the right to refuse? He is not very good at drawing. Jiang with a slight frown, Jiang Luo tilted his head and carefully looked at Yan Zihe. For some reason, she had a strange feeling that Yan Zihe seemed to be resisting. Is the character design so clear that even preferences are set? Ding dong. New news has arrived. Yan Zihe. The system cannot recognize your command. Jiang Luo. Is this system so casual? When she was asked to spend money to buy a computer, she was as intelligent as a real person, but when it came to drawing, she couldn't recognize instructions. She clicked on the interactive function again, and at this point, the drawing icon was lit up. Do you need her to click? Thinking about it, she pressed Start Drawing below the icon. The next second, Yan Zihe picked up his paintbrush. Yan Zihe, expressionless. The system cannot recognize your command. Jiang Luo. End of this chapter.